Hello, welcome back. We've got some more free any gameplay to review. This one from Faded, who's been on the grind for quite a while now, but certainly really putting the hours in recently. So much so that they've PB'd twice today and I'm using outdated content. That's my fault, I suppose. Should have made this video a bit earlier. Even so, there's going to be things to talk about in here, which may as well kick things off as the run. By now, I'm sure people know what it is and how we play the start of it. Yeah, this is a run Faded wanted me to review because it had a lot of potential and it was still a PB by the end, which is excellent. That's what we want to see. Now, I really like the 10 gem that's on the stairs back there, but what can you do? Oh, and he's not playing on a supercomputer. I have just edited out the load screens and subsequently lost the audio. You're welcome. Yeah, off to Claire Skip and executed just fine. Nothing to write home about. We'll just be picking up all the gems on row. And now post-deck movement, something I will call out when it happens. That was a good angle change. Just making sure it was facing the right way before holding the charge button. And you find that you pull back seconds by not standing in place. Okay, just about caught the glide there. The flame hitbox is quite large when going around with super flight, so can be probably a bit more aggressive there. I don't know how many resets he'd already done or was planning to do that day. So, sunrise just comes and goes. You don't want to spend too much time on it, and I don't really want to dissect it any more than is necessary. I've got my cursor on the screen because I was thinking I might pause it, but I'm just gonna try and get the playback bar off there. That's better. Okay, hesitating to not grab those baskets, but gets them straight after. Spark's picking up the slack. Missing a 5 there is fine. It's still early. Straight from Amy to those baskets and into Sunny. Going quite far left here. Maybe feeling compelled to pick up a few extras because some of the others were missed. Let's pause there actually. Let me drag it back to the right place. No, not really. So I'll just get back here. There's two ways to go through this next area. So you can wait till the wall gets a bit lower and sort of even not really boost the jump, but you can either do a full jump to get over or charge jump to go around. Now, the console route wants you to go to the end of level first, so it makes sense to cut through to the left side where you can. But this position here is sort of middling. Like, if you've come this far, it's almost better to just go onto the side using the jump method. If you're going for a perfect hover, you probably want to be positioned more to the left because you get more value from doing so. But frankly, because he hits the perfect hover, it's still fine. Just can be optimized a little better. And pretty hard to mess up the movement through here, so can't really comment on much. There's not many gems lying around either, but nice to grab the extra 2. And a good turnaround. No harm in using the camera to make this as easy as possible. So we do the same perfect hover. And we don't grab the 10 gem. So we're already down like 25 gems on where we could be. We just go back briefly again. Nice to get that 5, sure. So if you were to continue round as if it were the normal old route, you run through a green gem and a gold gem. And though this way is faster, what I think you should probably do here is cut in here, and Spark should grab the gold gem. And you can continue. Okay. It's Spyro free. There's a lot of gems. I just hope that it doesn't come back to bite later. Did we grab the... Sorry, I lapsed in judgment. There's also a great gem up here, and unfortunately, not grabbing that one either, so we've missed 30 gems. It's all good. Just got 30 gems to make up for. Goes a bit wide here to grab. Well, maybe that's just the normal route, because I've seen Faded do this where he'll go grab Liam first. There's a 2 gem there that you may miss otherwise. I don't really know if it's faster to delay Liam there or not. It probably evens out. Oh, and not even going for the 10 gem on the side. So, okay. So there's a lot of gems that were not grabbed in this sunrise. Ouch. Post-egg movement. So facing the right way. Now the charge there probably fucked it up. Excuse my French. Essentially, you can't flame at the same time. So you just go straight into the enemy. Unfortunate. But we keep it going. Green sparks is better than no sparks. We go for the wall glide here. Okay. Yeah, I would say here you probably can carry your momentum around a bit more, like just continue charging. Because you sort of, maybe you noticed the height you got and thought, that's not enough to do a little wall glide, I'll just go around. If that's more of a bailout, then fair enough. But you can also just charge jump around. As long as you're prepared to hover up to the ledge. Yeah, decent movement to and from Bruce. Seashell time. Charging off the bat is good, and being able to steer it away from the seal keeps us moving. I am just hovering over the hotbar again. That's gonna take some getting used to. I like that they grabbed all of the baskets. Just takes an extra little turn to grab the first one. Unfortunately not gonna make that cycle, but it's okay. Sparks though, we are out of sparks. Okay, good adjustment to get to the right altitude. And see, if we want these little 1 gems, we have to steer into them, and I probably wouldn't have steered so far right just to salvage a 1 gem. But doing what feels right in the moment. Does this mean we're grabbing... I see, because we missed that too. We're not even going for those 2 baskets on the left. Yeah, that is probably a necessary fodder so that we're not taking forever cleaning up the purple gems here. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. Goes around that box, totally optional if you want to break through it or what. But it seems pretty clean. Can only optimize side areas so much. It's better just to get through sunrise unscathed. Yeah, nice jump there. I think the run is being played with 90 minutes. And to the uninitiated, 90 minutes, meaning Spyro has better jump height. It could go more in depth on that explanation, but basically just makes a lot of the tricks easier, let's say that. Still not easy, but consistency is key. And obviously IGT not ticking throughout the tunnel So even if Faded messed up, we'd only lose a couple of seconds. Doesn't do good for the mental to mess up an area like that though, where it's just steering left and right. Yeah, maintaining the green sparks. Okay. Decent charge jump to get over to here. Stair movement. Okay, 1-5 gem there. Was a grab, but that first 5 gem he got, I usually skip that, so pretty much even on gems there, but still down overall. Okay, so we're holding the inside line here. Let's talk about that quickly. The supercharge. What you want to do here is be higher up than where Spyro currently is. And when you start charging in the air, by the time you land, you should be on the next stage of the supercharge. And that grounded movement will be faster. Because we haven't, you see, until we got the red, we're actually moving slower than super flight was. No, it's not correct. No, it's the second stage is the purple. So whilst the red smoke is happening, that is slower than supercharge. Like that is slower than super flight. I can't speak. So generally, if you cannot guarantee that you're going to get up to purple smoke at least, you're best off super fly instead of supercharge. Anyway, the butterflies are going well. Good stuff. Yeah, I always get concerned that the butterflies are where people lose time, and I've definitely lost heaps of good sunrises just here. But yeah, that little thing to do with supercharge is valuable beyond just Mushroom Speedway, as we do country as well. We'll see how that goes. Nice snipe on the third one. That is the tricky one. It's going to be a very clean UFO. Oh, I don't know how these splits compare to like a PB pace, because it says personal best, but you know, saving 10 seconds over your best pace ever, I don't know how real that is. I wanted to talk about something else as well. So, unlike most people, I know Faded guidebooks to Sunny instead of Cloud. I've had a look at this. It's technically faster. But again, you're missing out on gems. There's an easy 10 gems and you save maybe half a second. So it's all good. But the gem count needs to be bolstered somehow. And we're not going for the first of the IGT strats here. You can talk to the first Billy Goat, and then whilst these two are moving into position, you can take out this enemy, but they actually, you know, only now do they move. It can get a bit jank, which is probably the main reason for speaking to the first Billy Goat, is just to remove any chance of the Billy Goats getting stuck and losing you time. And the other downside of the console route is we skip out on the head bash chest. That gives you like an easy 35. So yeah, still curious how we're going to make up these gems. I should talk about other things though. Okay. Goes for all the baskets there. I probably wouldn't have gone for both 5s. Just seems a little slow. Still, if Fade is thinking to themselves that they are a little undergemmed, then that is certainly a good decision to make. One other thing I'll talk about here. I've lost the whole thing. So that was really, we got 2 nice double kicks during that. So just saving time, taking out more enemies. Here, as soon as you pick up like all the more valuable gems, or even as there's only 1 remaining, you could probably do your jump input. because it just takes a little while to put both jump inputs in. Like, we get no value from this Zoe, really. Maybe like a second of IGT saved. The sooner you get up there, the more valuable it is. Alright, and we're off to Buzz. I wasn't keeping tabs on sparks. I think we're still green sparks. Okay. Yep. Yeah, the quick game. I remember I cropped it and I forgot that I'd done that. So necessary quick game, continue. Otherwise, it's going to be a very slow Buzz fight. And a lot more safe strats than you really want to be using. So, yeah, the intentional damage at the start, just to get onto the second hit as fast as possible. Sheila not messing us around, just go straight for the damage. And good, straight away, goes into phase 2. And that's some nice early lava manipulation. Another hit of damage, may go for one more. Yeah, that's alright. But yeah, still worth using the HP. Gonna have to... This is the scariest hit, probably. If this goes well, then yep. And that sheep ran into our path. Perfect. Yeah, perfectly judged. Didn't get hit by any phantom hitbox or any of that stuff. Closing it out now with another early lava hit. Really good. Better than many of my Buzz attempts. I like to do a time check there as well, but not always feasible. So checks the guidebook upon arriving in midday. Pretty happy with the pace. I wasn't really looking at the IGT, and I don't know how it compares to his other runs, and I don't have my splits up to compare to. So what I'm saying is, I trust that Faded knows the pace he's on. Speaking to Pablo is not ideal. Grab a few extra gems, but they are not gems you really want to be picking up. So a bit of a shaky start to Enchanted. Could be down to just knowing the pace so far. Yeah, a lot of movement there that could be reworked. I'm sure they know that. This is a clean sequence, yeah. Oof. Pivot afterwards was maybe slight panic that it wasn't high enough. Yeah, doing the right thing here of going for that one up the top of the stairs and closing with the low rocket, because you can utilize the NPC dialogue to stall out. I don't know why you skipped through the dialogue though. It's unnecessary loss of 0.5 a second. Will we grab this 5? No, it's not really easy to grab that. I'm still, in my head, I'm still thinking that the gems are lower than they should be. So I'm curious to know what other gems they may pass up. Right, skateboarding going as standard. Yeah, this is really enthralling. All we want to do is not crash here. No crashing out, please. That's unfortunate, so bit of time lost there. And 2 more tricks to nail. Cool. And closing out with the Raging Ripto, I think. Looks good. Yeah. And Faded does this thing where he'll pause during the air and give up, which is just ever so slightly more optimal, and I respect it. 51 seconds ahead of the splits there previously had. That says a lot. The post-seg movement here is not the best. I was wondering if me pressing back on the arrow keys would work, but no, I'll have to drag it over. But the thing they do right is they still move in the general direction. It's still better than, you know, turning the camera or waiting. until you have full control again. But you do also have the option of double tapping the look button, which will give you back control. Alright, the start of this level's been very clean so far, but nothing out of the ordinary. Thankfully grabs these two 10s. I was going to lose my mind if they skipped it. It's just slightly off on the wall glide, maybe not parallel enough. I think the position was fine, but not going right enough. So losing just a tiny bit of height. Okay, rushing slightly here. Maybe feeling the pressure. Could be the music I put on. I'm so sorry about the taskbar at the bottom just being left on screen. I need a better way to watch the footage. Okay. Yep, trying to charge through it as much as possible. Immediate damage abuse there. Got the photo, got a gem. It's pretty good. Okay, good slowdown with the supercharge. Making sure we hit this yellow. Yeah, perfect. 11:41. Off the top of my head, I don't know if world record is a minute ahead of that, but certainly high 10s, low 11s is really good. So to be within 40 seconds of that. Still, gems have been missed. So we'll see if that does come up again. There's some good gems in this level. However, yeah, okay, not going for the 25. I get that the 25 is quite hard to go for. Missing that 10, not great. That was definitely a... Alright, I'm gonna have to recap this for sure. So, the 25 on the right, great if you can hit it fast, but it's not the most consistent thing if you haven't practiced it. What I like to do is land just a little bit further into this room and Sparks will grab that 10 gem. So unfortunately had to go back to pick up the weight again, but didn't lose that much time. But the craziest thing about this room to me is how he flings the weight. He can't see where it's going, just knows this is the angle I need. The problem though is the decision made to go right instead of left. So the optimal strat does skip a lot of gems in this room and gets both weights on the pad before the hummingbird shows up. But just to be clear, if you're not getting both weights on the pad, that is just not the strat to go for. And in your position where they're down on gems, what I would have done instead, yeah, we don't go for the 25, that's fine. Let's try and get them on the screen to make a point. So below us is a Rhinox standing next to a 10 gem. So what the PC runners do, because they don't have as much leniency here, like they need the gems from this room to maintain the current gem route. So they'll fling the weight down, but turn to the left, take out the enemy, grab the 15, and then you can even drop to the floor and grab like up to 24 in total. Plus there's also the gems off on the right that you'll grab on the second rotation. The only reason that this double weight strat exists is because if you don't need gems for the gem route, then if you execute this, it's optimal. But if you don't execute it, you're actually just losing gems for no reason. Because you still have to go over here, and instead you just missed out on a potential 20 gems over there as well. And I bring it up not because I think, oh, you're not going to have enough gems for the run. I'm sure you're going to make up the gem count. I'm just saying that's one very easy way of doing so. Plus, it's consistent. Plus, whatever you do later to make up gems is something that you would no longer have to do. So you save time there. TLDR, the time save you get from the double weights is not going to be as consistent for you as just picking up more gems here and cutting out gems somewhere else. Unfortunate that that enemy lived so long. That's just slows down the hummingbird. I don't know why I feel so strongly about the rootin' bird. I think as much as I really like the double weight strat, I just see people missing it all the time. Because it's quite difficult, and you know the time it saves is not that impactful. You'd probably be better off just grabbing more gems. I'm gonna execute this. Yeah, very good. And yeah, of course, the quick game continue. It's just there's no loss here. Yeah, see that you have to go out of your way to grab like an extra 10, an extra 5 every now and again, because they just haven't been picked up in the more optimal points in the run. I don't know why I feel so passionately about the gems. I think I might need to start running 117 again. Get out of my system. Pretty short level. Got the main jump. Did get hit in the water, but it's unfortunate. Got the Sparks health back, so who cares? So, one. Oh, that's... It guarantees it, but going that close... And also firing so late here is pretty slow. I'd say probably lost 4 or 5 seconds there. You definitely want to break the pots as soon as you can, and the rabbits can interfere, but that's why you try and do like a jump to cast the fireball over them. I think in the moment you are making good decisions of, well, I'm low on gems than I'd like to be. I'm just going to steer slightly off target to make up for it. But I will say that there's definitely a lot of ways to get gems up and not be left in a position where you have to recover. Having an established route also means that your backups are known to you. So, you know, if you are in a bad spot, you can optimize which ones you go for as secondary. God, this whole video is just going to be me raging about gems. Fuck. More importantly, I don't know if you're over or under gemmed right now. I think you're still under gemmed, so let's see what happens. So we're gonna get, okay, there's a 5 there. We're gonna get 400 here. I assume we're aiming for about 700, and then there's the 40 in the room. You've probably done enough to recover the gem route. But I think if I were to watch your PBs from today... Okay, yep, so just stopping the supercharge, because the turn can be quite annoying. But able to extend it through the rest of the cows, so that's like no time loss at all. Because it allows us to... Ooh, we're still going to make the... Yeah, okay, we're still going to make that cycle. That was really good. We're going to make this plane turn. Yeah, just a full 90-degree turn on the ground to keep this guy. Yeah, so like, that's within 2 seconds of what I can do. That's very good. And back to... Yeah, we've got one more egg to grab here. Just a quick ladder store. Oh, alright, yeah, we do grab the 40 here. So I don't grab the 40, usually, because in my head I should have... no. I think I'm getting that wrong. I think I do grab the 40. It's a very optimal amount of gems to get, like gems per second, but 40 is really good. So we'll just have to see how many gems we have by the end of Lost Fleet. Okay, Spike. Just aggroing them so that we don't get shot when we try to flame. So slightly slow to pick it up, but I don't think it's going to change how quickly they drop the blue one. So if anything, this might be helpful. No, maybe it delayed the blue one slightly. I usually don't mind Spike shooting at me once we get to phase 3, as long as it's quite far away. And unfortunately, just having to evade a few shots before getting the final hit. Going for early whirly. Where does it leave us? Yeah, that's good. Oh! And yeah, Spyro jumping out of the whirly gig, but actually, no, he's still there. Have a time check. See the smile on his face. Seems to be going pretty well. Doesn't get the 10 gem in front of Rosen. You gotta think with the 40 they grabbed, it's brought it back by now. Yeah, no reason not to kill the Rhinoc. You're not losing time for it, and their range is kind of mad. Okay, up until the ledge. First time on that one. Grabbing Cecil. Ooh. It's a bit of a scary angle there. I'll usually just hold down and glide so that I'm guaranteed to be going the right way. And I'll charge whenever I feel confident. This setup still scares me, but making it look easy. Yeah, not too hesitant before moving off towards end of level. And grab most of the gems there. Overall, I think the movement has just been really good. There's always going to be things that can be worked upon, but I'll give Faded credit where it's due. He's not just grinding free any. Like, with the latest event for free any being announced to the contenders a few weeks from now, it's understandable that they'll be playing again in more frequency than before, but you know, they play heaps of games and they're competitive at most of them, so if not all. It's a lot of damage to take here, and yeah, okay, so let's break this bit down. Taking damage to get over here kind of makes sense because, you know, it's supposed to get you across the lava a bit faster. I think it's a bit negligible because you have to keep dropping into the lava and it might be better just to go over it. The other thing is the post-egg movement here is just holding left, but you did like a turn. And I would rather be losing a bit of health getting over to this area. It's like once you took the damage in the lava, you went back for safety. But yeah, it makes sense to be doing this as there's the fodder there, and it was a life. Crazy. Although I find I get a life there quite often as well. We do a quick continue after this split, so. Alright, bit of cannon gameplay. Really going for that. Okay. Tangent time. So, one of the reasons I like Country Speedway is because obviously injecting 400 gems to the route is good. But the trade-off is cutting gems from the previous gem route. You know, if we've got now an extra 400, where can we cut gems? This is one place I really like to cut gems from. That's more of a personal preference, granted. I just don't see why you should have to grab the rocket and then... Yes, you collect the gems on the way back, but... Yeah, I've always felt like it's not a great trade-off, that one. Okay, just slightly short. Do we get on the second try? So now we're going to grab, let's see. So yeah, it's like 25 gems on the ground. I just think there's faster ways to get 25 gems if you need them. And well, honestly, I think by now you don't. I think you're over gem now, which is a great recovery. But yeah, that 25 could have been skipped just by grabbing a few of the early 10s. You know what I mean? Oh well. Definitely getting into the nitty gritty. It's entirely up to you what gems you get. But there are a reason why you see the same few runners grabbing the same few gems as well. Just ever so slightly better. Okay, and skipping around just about. Okay, second try at this. Nice and good movement to get over the top of that one. Yeah, pretty good post-egg movement as well. Okay. I don't love the angle we picked there. What I would want to see here is you maybe want to jump on the right one here as well, just to give you more space, because there is a ceiling to think about. Once you've gone up 2, maybe, as you've done, on the D-pad you would hold down when you jump. So you're going to jump off the ladder, you're going to hold down, you're going to hold left at the same time. And instead of turning to the right and having to do like a 270-degree turn, you just turn towards Benjamin. And probably negates the need for the hover. Okay, Benjamin jump. Great boosted jump. Using all the space. Yeah, that was really nice. I'm not that confident of that jump, so credit to you. Using Alicia's dialogue. You probably could have used that dialogue box a little bit more, but we're going to be able to get the boost there in the end. See, in my opinion, I feel that it should be possible to get on this cycle. And that would definitely be faster. Going over here, God, we're so close to the... Okay, we do get the gems as well. Those gems seem like overkill. Yeah, we're definitely over-gemmed. My goodness. I'm going to have to go and review my route. That's all I'm going to say. Because I was convinced you were down because of the amount of stuff you bypassed, but in the end, I look like a fool. For real though, there's definitely some faster options for you. But as long as you can pay the bear, the run lives. Good mushroom movement as well. The main observation I have of Faded's gameplay is it doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Maybe it was cherry-picked compared to some of the attempts, but I think the reason this pace is so good just comes down to not many mistakes. The mistakes that are there are pretty small. The biggest time loss I've seen is maybe 10 seconds. Yeah, and it's not really that slow to come over here to take out that enemy. Smart to go around the first archer there, because they are really annoying. A little bit shaky at the end, but that's good. Should be another gold split according to the splits they're using. Okay. Off to Lost Fleet we go. Let's see how this wall glide plays out. So they're using the setup from further back, but found the spot on the wall where you cannot really work with. That's crazy, yeah. Just the geometry around that little skull emblem is really mad. That first shot was enough, so it can put a bit more faith into the angle. All right, subs. It's going to matter a fair bit. At least it's It's not going to be a subs 2. So starting off, lining up with the mouth of the cave, waiting until the second one's on the screen, lined up with the third one very nicely, waiting for the fourth one, aiming upwards for the fifth, just going into melee range. Yeah, a little bit shaky on the last one, only because I think you moved so far up, you couldn't really gauge the distance from that height, but it's no big deal. That's why the lock-on is there. We're basically at 1,000 already. This is mad. Because there's still 35 gems left. Okay. So you can ignore me all you want for everything I've said, but just think about how you can cut some gems from the root. You know, if you want to continuously miss the other gems, or maybe think about, well, what if I had grabbed them? How many gems would I have now? And then, okay, I can probably cut 30 gems from the root. I could not go for this metal chest in fireworks that Matt really hates. That's, yeah, that's the takeaway from this. All right, 90 minutes definitely matters here. Yeah, I personally think that was not the best angle, but it pays off. Okay. So, just a little thing, it would be quicker to grab the egg, guidebook to Frozen, and then leave Frozen. Save a second. But maybe we haven't got to the point where we really want to get every single second out of the route. I can never decide if I want to say route or route, I'm just saying. I figure I'll do both until someone calls me out. Not the easiest split to optimize. At the end of the day, we're just waiting for Bart to get himself over here. We're a little bit out of position. So, you know, we could have had the dialogue going a bit earlier. It's going to come across. So we're not going to get an early cycle on the seal. Because that shot coming onto the screen now, that is the one we want to be in position for. Unfortunately not. But, yeah, may as well just use these. And the only reason this matters is because in the background there, that's the fast cycle, when you can get into position to catch that one. The difference is, what, 6 seconds, I think? Well, this is the most exciting part of the run. So much I can say about it. Another gong! Great! Skill point? Okay. I don't know if jumping is faster than that. Just having fun with it. It's a pretty good box push. Will we get another quick one? Yeah, it's not bad. Waiting for Bart is the play. Don't let him break the game. And we'll be, yeah, just as soon as he gets into position, you can engage the dialogue. 24 flat is solid. So I got some context for this bit. Faded plays out the dialogue here and told me that it's because he was nervous. And I respect the hell out of that. Yeah, the splits, I don't think they're comparing to real PB. But to have this many golds in the run and so few mistakes, you are feeling something. Unfortunately, Bentley doesn't throw there, which sucks, because now we're waiting. It's okay to get the eggs, they're probably coming anyway, but yep, just gets the reds and can ignore the second of the crabs. If there's more than 2, then you just have to make sure there's at least 1 left, otherwise Scorch will be waiting forever. Okay, we have a green on the field, we have a red on the field, we are waiting. Just just evading the attacks, always making sure to get back to a good position to shoot from. That's both reds. Okay. Just keeping up the stun lock. Can probably chuck a green away if we'd like, or we can save it for near the end. 2 hits left. Yeah, just grabbing the green rocket. Maybe going to use it to... Yeah, we just have to be a little careful because it moves slow in the air and can mess things up. But yeah, guaranteed green throw. See, oh my god, I actually have to call that out real quick. I love this. I just love this. 1 hit left. Watch faded. Just locks in. Locks in. It's so sick. Times it. Near perfect. Maybe slightly early, but it still comes through to the screen. And absolute gut-wrenching. He's mad. I'd be mad. But it's not over. The torment. It's so close. So close. I don't want to harp on about it because at the end of the day, the only way to secure the rocket most of the time, it's going to come down to memorizing the stage at this point because, you know, the layout of the arena, there is like the sharp teeth on one end and I guess the tail of Scorch on the other. And the positions we start and end the fight are consistent. You know, the rocket always goes back to where it will, and so determining left, right, forward, behind, it's so much work. So sometimes we just have to accept that it's not meant to be. Someone out there could lab it and give us a helpful guide on what visual cues to look for. But, you know, sometimes Bentley just throws short and it's out of reach. We keep it going. The run is not over. So with a heavy heart, we go back to Spike's Arena. I don't really want to say too much about this one because ideally we aren't here. At the end of the day, it's just a Spike fight. We look for that second rock. We're not getting greedy. We're not looking for a third rock. We just want to get out of here. And again, we're going to see going for the melee aggro lines up very well. If we move away here, yep, Spike will run to the middle and we can go for another melee aggro. And that lines up with the second drop. Perfect. If he's allowed space to go to the middle here, he'll shoot. I don't think we really want to deal with those projectiles, so we'll go for that. And given that we need a purple rock, I'm going to play the rest of the fight a little bit slower, just not overcomplicating it. Keep an eye on Bird. I suppose he's got game sound as well. So maybe he heard that it was dropped there. Gonna make it. Spike's hitbox is massive, so gotta play it safe. Don't want to charge into Spike and lose it. I've done that before. So certainly a lot of IGT lost here because of the slow walk, and the Spike fight itself takes about a minute 10 or 15. It's nice to see Lead in the chat supporting his bro. And yeah, it was very close to being one of those rarities that Spyro, on the way to the rocket on autopilot, collects the rocket for us anyway. Can only hope. Right, into Crystal. Taking out the enemy, lining up the shot. You know what really sucks? That Purple Rock moves in the air slower as well, so it just kind of exacerbates the time loss. Right, grabbing the star, quick turn here. Personally, I wouldn't charge all the way to the ground. I think it would be better to continue Superfly. Well, it's either to continue to superfly or superflight. Just pick one. Okay. It makes me wonder in this situation what kind of performance we're getting, because the pressure is somewhat off, but the desire to, you know, continue the pace, because it's been a really fast run. We'll see. Yeah, okay, so just a little bit too close to the tree. Unfortunate. And look, there are many runners who in that situation would have killed the run. I'm very glad that you didn't do that. There's always something to be gained from playing the end game. If you never practice the end game, it will bite you when it really matters. This is a great torch jump setup. Got to go for the bonk there. It's only right. Okay, yeah, the post-deck movement, not the best. I would just hold down and it'll get you most of the way through the corridor. How will we do in tanks? So we're not risking an early shot. We're just going to move close enough so that they come out of hiding. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. Very clean. And we've got the option here of quick continuing, which we do take. It's just slightly quicker to get to the ladder. Ladder movement is always very awkward on Tomb. We'll see a bit more post-egg movement here, just straight away turning to the left and getting the charge. Oh, maybe slightly close to the edge. Could have gone quite poorly. Around the dog. That was a really nice tomb. I think that deserved to be a gold, to be honest. Wasn't much to say. Okay, I've already spoken to Faded about this, but can go even more aggressive on the turn there. And to put it, we'll make it a bit clearer. So let's, we'll leave Tomb again. We're gonna go straight ahead because we're doing desert runs first. These vases are meaningless. I can just turn off the edge rather than go up so far, but each to their own. I think in future you won't be doing that, so it's just one of those in the moment, sometimes forgetting where we're going next. Now that's a really good charge jump, and it actually enables us to make an earlier cycle here, which is really cool. Up to the ledge. Oof. That felt like a bit of a coyote jump. I wasn't sure if he dipped slightly. I think I should probably apologize. I don't feel like I've done a great job of reviewing this. I've just been a little bit upset with some gem route choices, and I'm mostly just appreciating how much cleaner Faded's movement is than when he started. Faded's been playing SRT for a little while now, but you know, compared to myself, is still quite new. And considering they started as a Spyro 1 runner, I wasn't sure how dedicated they would be to this category. I always kind of fear that, you know, when people try a different Spyro game within the Reignited trilogy, that it just doesn't resonate with them the same. That's a pretty good kit jump just to not deal with the bullshit from that last Scorpion. But it's definitely struck a chord with a lot of people who have been getting introduced to it. That makes me very happy. So yeah, regardless of how informative this review is, you know I'm always willing to give feedback and talk about strats with you. And I can definitely see why this run hurts so much, because rocket storage aside, it's been really consistent. Like, I can only think of a few things, like the bomb jump in Fireworks, dying in Crystal because he fell down, and alright, anyway, that is still a great dino jump as well. I just kind of watched it happen and didn't say anything. During the comparison video with Lead, I did notice that Lead got the slight edge here, because if you position yourself a bit close to the edge here, it's easier to set up for the jump around the corner. But at the end of the day, if this works for you, just keep doing it. It is still faster than having to retry or having to quick continue. None of these enemies are really giving us any problems. Can just skip by most of them. If you play 117 sometime, they are some of the worst enemies to deal with. Unlucky TNT, but pretty minor time loss. Gets around the, I don't know, are those actual bullets or something else? But yeah, the turret enemies can really mess your day up if you let them hit you. Yeah, small movement flubs, costing like a second at most, in most cases. It's not something you want to happen, but certainly I would rather have a few movement flubs over a second try, I don't know, wall glide in Frozen, you know. You don't get many second tries at that one before you just have to kill the run. But when all is... What am I trying to go with here? Yeah, so once you're so consistent with the tricks, all that is left to do is refine the movement. Why not do both? You know, just refine the movement now, you don't have to do it later. Okay, nice little hover up to the ledge. Turning around. And we'll do a bit of guidebooking to collect the remaining eggs. Not the best movement through here, but at least it's not going to get us killed. Maybe this run is best treated as an audiobook, because having me keep moving the cursor on the screen must get quite annoying. That's a good angle to take the charge jump there. Not even needing an auto hover, just calculated it well. Will we grab the yellow thief early? After the 2 vases. Ooh, unlucky. He's not happy about that. Still got it though. That is definitely a scary moment, because if the yellow thief does drop down, it's a huge amount of time loss, and he's still not out of the woods. Could still go south. It's looking a little bit late to catch the red thief too. I wasn't feeling overly secure watching those, but at least it didn't go horribly. What will we do to get up to the ledge? First try not working out, second method not working out, but yep, getting it on the third is all good. I find moving back into Tara's hitbox there kind of weird. I usually just hold down and see what Spyro does. We are 1 egg away from the goal. Okay. Clean turnaround. I think we're on gold sparks. And I'm always curious to know how Faded Sorceress goes. There are just some runners that really clutch against the final boss, whereas for others this is a huge sticking point, because you know most runs don't get here. That could have been a little scary, because she started running towards the cannon, and if that hit, took place any later, I think she would have just ran into Spyro and forced Faded to get a second cannon. But not an issue. Walking further back around the arena, like either on this bit or the concrete around the outside, is meant to make it easier to pick out the vehicles like this now. Doesn't always work that way. Okay, Sorcerer's playing games here, but good patience to line up the guaranteed shot when you could. Well, it's gonna take a good UFO, but we know Faded can do it. That's a good catch there. Using the Sorceress to kind of help turn around there. Baits her a bit closer. Grounded shot, yep. We'll get at least one more. Ah, perfectly done. It's so good. That strat is not that difficult for some people, clearly. But for me, I can't do it very well. I'm just going to leave that on the screen because what a legend, honestly. This run lost, like, let's say about a minute and a half to rocket storage just barely not working out. It's not like Faded did very much wrong there because he got the timing perfect. It's just, it fell slightly out of range. And it happens to all of us, really. All those gold splits suggest is after, you know, maybe de-rusting. This run kind of proves that all of that was worthwhile. You know, this is a good payoff, even though the run had that potential. I think this is one of those moments that has led to something greater because we got 2 PBs from Faded today. Now has a 33. And arguably this run is probably still better than the runs from today. And that's what's very interesting. Maybe worth doing a comparison between this run and the latest PB. Just to see what could still go better. But anyway, I've been rambling. I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk about this category as long as people are still listening. Sorry I spoke so much about gems. I think gems are sort of an underrated part of the run because when you have Country Speedway and Mushroom Speedway, we are spoiled. You know, we really should be optimizing the remaining gems because there's now 400 less of them. I think I do a pretty good job of it in my route, but there's always room for discussion. And yeah, don't give up. Clearly, missing rocket storage on a scorching pace doesn't mean that much if you can just get 2 PBs a few weeks later, or I don't know if it was a week or what. GG's. Looking forward to seeing more attempts soon. And yeah, if you didn't know about the Free Any event that's coming up, I think it's March 7th for me, so March 6th for most. Come and have a look. Should be fun. Vader will be there. And hopefully we'll get some more performances like this. And a few more rockets stored. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.